What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Iron Factory Cygnus, their version of a Legend scale Jetfire. So this is a somewhat stylized Jetfire. I bought this from Matt Partsformer. Thanks for allowing me to get this. He got me a good deal on this, so I'm happy about it. Now, I got this a while ago, just haven't reviewed it, but here's the back. You know, I have all the armor off right now, but he does come with quite a bit of stuff, but it's a really good looking version. You got the nice translucent blue glass here. He did apply an Autobot symbol there. Got some red paint here. You got little accents on the side, some gray paint on the face with silver, and then blue for the eyes and blue up here for the crest. A little bit of gray paint here. Gray paint on the toes. So overall, pretty nice looking. Comes with a lot of parts and accessories. So first of all, you get these. And these can be attached here on the legs. Make sure you put the right one on the right side. So you want the blade facing backwards. And these also have a little bit of paint, a little gray and silver. Those look good. You also get these guns for the arms. And again, painted, a little bit of gray paint on there. And black paint as well. And then if you come to the back, you can add these, which you want the gray paint facing the outside. And those will just plug in like that. And then finally, if you want him to have a more Jetfire-y, helmet, you can replace the head. So the head is just on a ball joint. So you can pop the head off the ball joint. And then we can pop the new one on. And I find sometimes this thing a little tough because it'll push downwards, but there you go. He's got some black ears and then a painted blue face mask, but there he is, fully jet-fired up. Obviously more like the toy, but I really like the way it looks. It's just a cool design, so you can kind of have it however you like. More traditional Skyfire or original toy Jetfire. Either way, it looks really good. You also get his blaster here, which doubles as part of the jet. And that can be plugged into his hand, like that. And then the last accessory you get here is this flight stand here. It's in 4 pieces. You got the base. You got this piece which you push in first, and then you have these 2 pieces. You attach those there, and now you can attach it to the back, so you use that slot right there. And if you get this all the way up, you kind of want to squeeze these together because otherwise this will kind of flop around, but he can be posed on this flight stand. You can get into some like action poses or whatever. It's a really nice thing. I like when they include flight stands for flying characters. So you get a bunch of alternate hands here. So in addition to these open fisted hands, you just get a closed fist hand, which, not very useful because you can't do anything with it, but you can get that into here. So it looks like that. And you also get an open, expressive hand. Unfortunately, these have to come off for transformation because they don't fit inside. So you can't transform it, but you get some nice expressive hands there. And then the last one you get is a pointing hand. And you only get one of these, so it's only for his right arm. But he can have a pointing hand, so he can lead some Autobots or whatever. And like I mentioned, you can store stuff on the stand, so there's little slots right here. So we can put all of his extra hands here, which is nice because you don't have to put them all back in the box. You can just store them. Now I'm going to take this off because we're going to have to transform him anyways, but we'll get this one back on. You can also take the head, the alternate head, whichever one you're not using, and that'll just fit right there. And basically everything can store away. There's also some slots here, so if you want to put that there. Now it does have one more kind of hidden weapon. If you come to the back here and you push down on this, you can open this up. That will reveal these guns. Those can flip all the way around to the front. And now he's got those cannons on top. It is painted in a nice gunmetal gray over top of translucent blue. So might as well get both out of here so you can see what they look like. But I really like this a lot. I mean, it gives you the best of both worlds, right? You get the toy kind of aspect to it. Although the original toy didn't have this, but some of the toys along the way, in recent years from Classics line had this. So I love that you can have the toy look, but you can also have a more G1-y style look, even though it's kind of stylized. As far as articulation, since we took these out, you can articulate these up and down, or have them just straight, or hidden away. The head is on a ball joint, so it gets up to there. The neck also moves, so you can get down, all the way down to there. The head can actually move forward. You end up unpegging this backpack, so you can just peg it back on. But you can get down to there, get side to side on the head, and it rotates all the way around, of course. The shoulders can drop down and move up, so they're on a ball joint. So that ball joint is on a disc hinge. You can rotate all the way around on the ball joint, and you can bring it up on that ball joint, so you can get it way up. It's got crazy articulation due to the way it's designed. You have a rotation at the bicep. Double jointed elbow gets a full bend. Rotation at the wrist. And the wrists also go in, up and down a little bit, just based on the transformation. You have an ab crunch here that goes all the way down to there. Waist rotation all the way around. You have hip skirts here that move out of the way. The back and side hip skirt are actually one piece, and they're attached to the front, so it does move all together. The leg goes out to there, up to there. Back to here, hindered a little bit by that hip skirt. Rotation at the thigh. Get this back down. You have a double jointed knee, gets you the full bend there. You have ankle tilts, ankle pivot back and forth, toe tilt, semi-toe tilt, heel tilt, everything on those feet. And for size comparison, there he is next to the New Age Optimus Prime. And some people have asked me, or I guess mentioned, that maybe this version of Jetfire is a little too small, should be bigger. I think it actually stands pretty nicely next to this Optimus Prime, or just next to New Age Legends in general. But they are putting out a KO of this guy that's bigger. So I think that's to address the fact that he might be a little bit short in this mode. But for me personally, I think it fits in just fine with other Legends. Alright, now let's get this guy transformed into his jet mode. Relatively simple transformation. And you can still transform him with all of these bits and pieces on. So it's kind of your option. So let's start with the legs here. So open up this panel here. Allow you to take the legs and collapse them inwards. And then you can plug this back in. Same on this side. Open this up. Collapse the leg down. And then clap that back in. These legs are going to peg together on the back. You can take these toes, those are going to fold inwards and fold in here, in there. These panels are going to come forward on this rocker here and basically just attach right here or just sit. It doesn't really tab in, it just kind of sits on the front there, but that exposes this little engine piece, which is cool. Right, so it should look something like that. Make sure the waist is straight, up and down. Come to the front here, we're going to take these arms. Those are going to accordion back. Make sure you get this all the way down, like this. There's a tab right here that's going to tab into the side. Oh, before we do that, we got to get the hands hidden away. So open this up, rotate this in, and that's why I was saying you can't use any other hands other than the fisted hands because the straight hands won't fit. All right, so get that collapsed onto the side and tabbed in. So it should look something like that. Alright, same on this side. Open this up, fold the hand in, collapse that down, pull the arm downwards, and make sure you get this tab back in over here. Come to the bottom here, there's a tab or a panel right here, and it can be difficult to get to, so I'd recommend a spudger or something to get in here. And we can lift up on this chest. We're going to take this backpack, that's going to unpeg from here. There's just two little tabs. That's going to slide that all the way down. And then we're going to take this head, that's going to fold all the way back to here. And we want to angle this back, actually, right? So the head sits backwards. And it doesn't matter which head you have, it should fit down and in here. Let me just make sure that's true. Yeah, there we go. So that should fit down and inside there. You can see the head in there. Then you're going to open up this piece here, and then open up the nose cone. And you can see it's kind of unfinished here. Well, that's because you need the gun. So the gun is going to tab in right here. And just press that in. And make sure you have this, the back of this backpack is going to tab in to the top of the legs. So get that tabbed in. Pull the wings back, open up the wing. Same on this side, pull the wing back, open up the wing. And you can kind of angle these out however you like. And there we have Cygnus in his really nice looking jet mode. That cockpit, which is the chest in robot mode, does end up being the cockpit. There's not a faux cockpit. These pieces here have the gray kind of like intakes there. The jet parts here on the top, those look like boosters, and the boosters are actually posable, so you can pose these. I guess you could have posed it in robot mode too, but all the armor pieces are still there, so they do serve as pieces of the jet now. Of course, you do have this on the bottom. I don't think it's the most attractive, but it does make the bottom of the jet. Now, there is a landing gear in there. So if you don't install this, you won't have the landing gear and you'll have a little hole there. So you kind of need it, but there's the landing gear. It does roll. There's actual rolling wheels there, which is pretty cool. You can also remove these and actually flip them around. And I think you're actually intended to anyway. So that's probably a transformation step, but you can take those and move them around like that, which is how it should be. Or you can just remove all the armor. If you just want Jetfire without the armor pieces, like the original toy, you can take these off, set those aside. You can also take these off, set those aside, and now you're down to the bare bones here with just this. Oh, can you take this off? I don't think you can take this off, but actually you can. Yeah, so that's tabbed in too. So if you want to take that off, you can. You can get them all the way down to here without the wings or anything. I mean, I don't know if this makes any sense, but you can do it if you want to. But let's put that back on. So it's a very, very customizable, version where you can kind of do almost anything, and you can have them displayed, whatever makes sense for you. These wings also can pose back and forth. Me personally, though, I think he looks best with all of his armor. Now, you can use the flight stand here in jet mode, of course. You need this adapter piece. So this will fit on the bottom here. So these will go around this piece here. It just kind of sits right there, becomes part of the jet. This back piece doesn't really tab in. It just kind of sits loosely. I don't know if it was meant to like tab in, but it really kind of just sits there. And then you take this and that will tab into here. And you can kind of make sure you tighten these, so squeeze these together. And there you go. There is Cygnus on his flight stand. It does look good. I really like the ability to pose it on this mid-flight. So yeah, looks really good. And of course you can still store all of the accessories on the flight stand. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the New Age version of Optimus Prime's trailer and roller. And Iron Factory was never intending to scale with New Age, But since this is the only other Legends I have, I want to show it to you. Now, it does feel like his jet mode is a little bit on the small side, and it probably was intentionally. I mean, they scale it with their other figures, so it probably looks good with other Iron Factory, but it does seem a little bit small when compared to the modern-day Legends that are coming out from New Age and Magic Square and others. But there you go for a comparison. So, final thoughts on the Iron Factory Cygnus. Let's start with the positives. I love the way this looks in both the jet mode and the robot mode. I also really like the fact that there's a lot of playability and options for display. You can have the armor on, you can have the armor off, you can have the backpack on, you can go even down to the point where you can take off the entire thing and have no wings at all. You have alternate head here, so if you want the toy kind of look, Jetfire look, you can do that. If you want the, more G1-ish look for Skyfire, you can have that with this head. A lot of just options here for playability. I do like the flight stand, but negatives-wise, the flight stand is a little finicky. You kind of have to squeeze these together after you're finished posing. Otherwise, it tends to flop around. You can see now it's very solid, but you do have to kind of fiddle with it. And the other thing is this gun. I do really like the look of the gun. I like the fact that it's painted, but negatives-wise, it makes up part of the jet. So it's kind of a parts forming thing. I don't hate it. It's not a hateful thing. It's just, it feels a little bit of a cheat because they didn't actually give this the bottom of the jet, right? You need this to make the bottom of the jet. And it's a different color. It's black instead of the white. So it's nice for the storage, but minor complaint there. But other than that, I really do recommend this. I think it's a great figure, especially if you're a Legends fan. Now, of course, we've got the New Age version coming and potentially the Magic Square coming, which they've teased, so we know it's eventually going to come. So I do recommend it. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.